It's Tuesday, June 17th, AD 2025. This is the World View in 5 minutes, written by Kevin Swanson and myself, and heard on 140 radio stations and at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. International Christian Concern remembers another persecuted saint today among those who have disappeared into the hands of a tyrannical state. Kim Sung-sik of North Korea, who was arrested at the age of 49 in 2007 at his home, was remembered for distributing Bibles and for handing out gifts to needy folks. A North Korean defector described this man of God as having, quote, character like steel, end quote. He never bowed to anyone and would even confront public officers for accepting bribes. His grandfather was a Presbyterian minister who had been persecuted and imprisoned by the communist regime. Sung-sik's wife and children, who were also arrested, have also disappeared. According to Open Doors, North Korea is the most dangerous place worldwide to live as a Christian. The Chinese Communist Party, China's ruling political class, released a plan on May 7th mandating that Protestant churches include songs in their worship praising communism. Sadly, reports of Protestants representing the official Three Self-Patriotic Church indicate they are complying with the new regulations. Fulani Muslim jihadists massacred 200 villagers from the farming community in Gumik County, located in Benue State. Most of the residents are Catholics. Witnesses report that 40 gunmen stormed the village shouting Allahu Akbar. The terrorists opened fire on civilians while setting homes on fire and killing indiscriminately. Over 10,000 survivors who escaped are now needing clean water, medical aid, and facilities to house them. Equipping the persecuted ministry is collecting resources to provide for immediate needs. Over the last 2 years, 10,217 Nigerians have been killed in Muslim-inspired massacres, and about 6,900 of those killings have occurred in Benue State. In its ongoing war with Iran, Israel bombed 80 more targets on Sunday. At least 200 Iranians have died thus far in the attacks. The International Atomic Energy Agency's director, Rafael Grossi, has stated that Iran's underground nuclear development has not been compromised at this point. Sabers are rattling, louder than ever. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute's yearbook, published on Monday, world military spending rose by 37% in the past decade, and by 9.4% last year alone to $2.7 trillion. That's the largest bump since the early 1990s. China and India are installing nuclear bombs on warheads. That's a change in policy for these countries. China is up to 600 nukes, and North Korea has enough fissile materials for 90 total warheads. Proverbs 21:31 says, "The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord." South Korea is touting its largest homosexual pride parade ever this year. The organizers claim 170,000 participants. South Korea has absorbed Western immorality faster than other Eastern countries. The proportion of South Koreans holding that homosexuality is never justified decreased from 67% in the 1990s to just 24% in the most recent survey. That's even lower than Taiwan, the most pro-homosexual country in Asia. The Christian faith is falling off by generations in South Korea. At this point, 29% of their elderly people adhere to the Protestant faith, but only 13% of the 18 to 29-year-old age group call themselves Protestant Christians. Psalm 78, verse 9, warns of the children of Ephraim being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They did not keep the covenant of God. They refused to walk in his law and forgot his works and his wonders that he had shown them. Christian apostasy continues to rise around the world. The recent Pew Research report on worldwide religious affiliation found that 35 nations have seen an increase between 2010 and 2020 in atheism or a non-affiliation with the church, and 40 nations have seen a substantial decrease in people aligning themselves with the Christian faith. Of all nations in the world, the United States has the second largest number of atheists or people unaffiliated with the church at 100 million people. China has the largest number of atheists or unaffiliated at 1.3 billion. Christians are still the majority in 60% of the world's nations, while Muslims are in the majority in 26% of the countries. Unemployment in the United States is running at 4.2%, but for recent college grads, ages 22 through 27, the rate stands at 5.8%, the highest since 2021, according to the U.S. Labor Department. The gunman, Vance Bolter, wanted in the slaying of a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband, as well as in the shooting of a state senator and his wife, was found Sunday night armed and crawling in a field in a sparsely populated stretch of Minnesota, reports NBC News. Police Chief Mark Bruley of the Brooklyn Park Police Department said it was without a doubt the biggest manhunt in the state's history. Authorities allege Bolter, age 57, who posed as a policeman, tried to kill State Senator John Hoffman, a Democrat, and his wife Yvette at their home in Champlin at roughly 2 a.m. Saturday, before fatally shooting State Representative Melissa Hortman, a 55-year-old Democrat, and her husband Mark in nearby Brooklyn Park. Bolter was arrested without incident. His motive is still unclear. NBC Chicago reports that police found a manifesto in Bolter's car with the names of 70 politicians, including those in Illinois and Wisconsin. I invited Worldview listeners to share what they enjoy about the newscast in 2 to 6 sentences by email. You can share your thoughts along with your full name, city, and state, and send it to adam@theworldview.com. Max Wood in Macon, Georgia wrote, quote, "Let not your heart be troubled by the slow response this year to your annual fundraising campaign. Americans are more mobile and active this summer than last because of the improved economy. You and the team produce a quality product that blesses many and will in turn be blessed by God. Keep the faith. American miracles don't just happen on movie screens," end quote. And Mary Collins in Elkhart, Indiana wrote, quote, "I love your newscast. Every day in our homeschool, I read the good news stories to my kids. I love that you use biblical language. It helps us also think in such terms. I love that I can trust it to be from a biblical worldview, and I don't have to sift through any jargon. I love that I can trust it to be accurate and from God's perspective. I love that sometimes you include interesting things that no other news outlet would even consider. We have sure enjoyed those neat stories. Thank you for such a quality way to stay up to date with the world's current events," end quote. And finally, toward our $92,625 goal by this Friday, June 20th, to fund 3/4 of the Worldview newscast's annual budget, 14 listeners stepped up to the plate. Our thanks to Cody in Hortense, Georgia, who gave $32.50, as well as Braylon in Lincoln, Nebraska, Christina in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, and Joshua in Hortense, Georgia, each of whom gave $50. We're grateful to God for Eric in Tazewell, Virginia, and Henry in Tazewell, Virginia, both of whom gave $100, as well as James in Kennewick, Washington, who gave $200, and Richard and Leanne in Zeeland, North Dakota, who gave $300. And we were touched by the generosity of Donovan in Denton, Texas, William in Pleasant Hill, Missouri, and Madeline in Green City, Missouri, each of whom gave $500, as well as Catherine in Reddick, Florida, who pledged $50 per month for 12 months for a gift of $600, Stephen in California, Maryland, who gave $1,000, and Scooter in Naples, Florida, who will match Stephen's gift with another $1,000. Those 14 Worldview listeners gave a total of $4,982.50. Ready for our new grand total? Drum roll, please. $43,874.70. Toward this Friday, June 20th's goal of $92,625, We need to raise $48,750.30. Remember, if you're one of the 3 final people who give a one-time gift of $1,000, Scooter in Naples, Florida, will match you with a corresponding $1,000 gift of his own. Now, if that happens today, Tuesday, June 17th, we will have raised an additional $6,000. I'm wondering whether you might be one of 4 Worldview listeners to give $5,000 today. In order to raise the remaining amount, I need to find 23 Worldview listeners who will pledge $50 per month for 12 months for a gift of $600, and another 46 listeners to pledge $25 per month for 12 months for a gift of $300. Please, we need your help right now. Go to theworldview.com and click on Give on the top right. Click on the button that indicates a recurring monthly donation if that's your wish. And that's the Worldview on this Tuesday, June 17th, in the year of our Lord 2025. Follow us on X or subscribe for free by Spotify, Amazon Music, or by iTunes or email to our unique Christian newscast at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. Seize the day for Jesus Christ.